All right. Good morning, or good afternoon, depending on which part of the country you're joining us from. Coach Kevin Sparks here, and let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'd like to do is share my screen with you and point out a couple of things really quick. We have a Facebook group that coincides with this meetup. It has the same name. It is called Live Law of Attraction Money, Wealth, and Success Training. We'd like to invite you to come join us in the Facebook group. So when you log into your own Facebook account, just look for where it says search Facebook, and you can find us by typing in the name Live Law of Attraction Money, Wealth, and Success Training. Come join us. We'll be happy to have you. The other way you can find us is you can go directly to facebook.com/groups/ money manifesting coach as one word. So again, that is facebook.com/groups, plural, / money manifesting coach as one word. So let's see, maybe to make this a little bit easier for you guys. Yes, I can do that. I'm going to put a link in here into chat really quick and share with you guys, hopefully, the link to the group. I didn't want it to pop up over there. I wanted it in the chat. Okay, here we go. And you can go ahead and click on that and join us. And now you have an easy way to find the Facebook group. All right. So the next thing I want to do is, so why would you even want to be a part of the group? First of all, as long as I remember to record the Zoom meetings, which I typically do, typically within about 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes I get a little behind because I'm busy coaching clients, but typically 24 to 48 hours, you will find whatever, like today, for instance, sometime later today or tomorrow, the recording for today will be in the group. So if you attend something, you really like it, you can go back through it again. The other thing is, let's say, for instance, you're with us Monday, Tuesday, you can't for some reason be here Wednesday, you're here Thursday, can't be here Friday, and we're going through a piece of material that takes several days to go through, which we'll do from time to time. You might use it as a way to get caught up, okay? So that's why you would actually want to join the Facebook group. All right, what's the next thing I want to share with you is what we are in the process of going through right now. We're in the process of going through a book called The Science of Getting Rich. It was written by Wallace D. Wattles, Wattles, Wallace D. Wattles, and published in 1910. So it is an older book, okay? Definitely an older book. And it's a phenomenally good book. We're on page 72 of 77. So as you can tell, we're almost done with this. Matter of fact, I believe we're going to finish this one up today, okay? But I want to show you where you can get your own copy like the one we have and follow along, and where you can get it for free, okay? So the way that I was able to do that, I happen to own it in paperback and all these Kindle, and I have it on Audible. But whenever we go through something like what we are right now together, if I can find a free copy of what we're going through, I will grab it and show you where I got it. That way you can get it and follow along yourselves. All I did was go to Google. I typed in the Science of Getting Rich PDF, and organically, for me at least, this is what popped up. For you, it'll probably be the same thing, but I don't know for sure. That was the first thing that popped up. I sometimes don't like the first thing that pops up, but in this case I did, because I know who owns the website. So it says The Science of Getting Rich, and then there's a little dash, then The Secret, and then it's on a website called thesecret.tv. Well, I personally knew that thesecret.tv is a website owned by Rhonda Byrne. Who is Rhonda Byrne? Rhonda Byrne is actually the creator of the movie and the book, The Secret. So you may have watched that movie. If not, I highly recommend that you do. And where can you find it and go watch it for free? Well, essentially for free, is on Netflix. It's currently showing on Netflix. So go watch go watch The Secret on Netflix. The other thing is she also had it transcribed into a book. So there's a movie and a book called The Secret. Rhonda Byrne was given this book by her daughter at a point in her life. Well, one, she didn't understand the law of attraction. Rhonda didn't. Her finances weren't doing well, and her relationships weren't doing well either. Her daughter, I don't know how her daughter got a hold of it, but she gave it to her mom and basically said, "Hey, mom, I think this will help you." And Rhonda went ahead and read the book. That was her introduction to the law of attraction, so to speak. And she got so excited by what she was learning that she started studying other things and finding out that there was additional material out there. And she wanted to share with the world the secret, essentially, that she had found and created the movie and the book, The Secret. So it had a huge impact on her. This book's had a big impact on me too. That's why I'm sharing it with you. Back in 2006 is when I was introduced to this. In February of 2006, I was given this book, read it, went through a seminar, 3-day long seminar workshop, taught by a gal by the name of Leslie Householder. Leslie at the time was a coach and facilitator for Bob Proctor in his programs. And Bob Proctor is the one who created the seminar. Leslie was the one who taught that particular seminar. So I went through that seminar, plus got some additional coaching and training afterwards. And as a result of the training that I got, the reprogramming of my subconscious mind and learning how to understand the laws that govern manifesting more money and wealth in our lives, I went from an employee working a 50, 60-hour a week job, earning $5,000 to $6,000 a month. By March, so I took the seminar in mid-February or beginning February, I forget which. But anyhow, by March 31st, I had quit my job, essentially took April off as a vacation. And from May 1st through December 31st, my time that I needed to work to earn money dropped. It dropped down to 15 to 20 hours a week, but my income rose significantly and rose into a nice 6-figure income and had months of different amounts. It wasn't this steady like paycheck from a job where it's the same amount all the time, but the average amount of money that I had helped bring in during that time was $50,000 a month over that 8-month average. So instead of 5,000 to 6,000, it was up to 50,000. That's a significant jump. So that's why I'm sharing this book with you, because of the potential impact it could have on you, because I know the impact it had on me. And 2 years ago, Bob Proctor came to me through his organization and asked if I wanted to be a coach and facilitator for their programs like Leslie was years ago. And I took up the mantle and have done the same thing. And like Leslie, I'm now independent also, okay? But that's where I got my training and where my background comes from. The science of being rich. Like I said, I believe we're going to go ahead and finish it up today. And then tomorrow we will start into something new. Let's see here. I need to be on this page, or I think actually I need to be at page 70. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to blow this up so it's easier for you guys to see and you can follow on my screen. Highly recommend you go get a free copy or whatever type of copy you want. But I showed you where to get a free one to download, partly so you can follow along. The other part is so you can get caught up, and essentially, since we're at the end of this particular book, so that you can read it yourself. How long would it take you to read the entire book? A couple hours. Maybe an hour today, an hour tomorrow, if you wanted to get the whole book done in a day or, in a couple days. Couple hours today if you want to read the book in a day. But anyhow, highly impactful. It's made a difference in a lot of people's lives, and it can in yours too. Okay, again, remember, published 1910. So the way that Wallace Waddle speaks is going to be the way the people spoke in the era, okay? The way that people wrote and spoke. So don't let that trouble you or offend you or anything like that. If he's talking in, mostly male dominant way versus, throwing in him and her. He says he more often than he will say she, but I don't think that's an issue for learning from the book. Some cautions, conclusions. Oh, before I jump into this too, we're going to take somewhere between probably 10 to 15 minutes towards the end of this today And I'm going to give you the opportunity. We're all going to have the opportunity to interact with each other. So we're going to be able to share what we want to share and ask whatever questions we want to ask. So I just wanted to make sure you know that this will be interactive for you. Right now, I'm going to finish up this book, and I'll add commentary where I feel it will be helpful for you to understand it and useful for you. And then if I miss anything as far as any questions it creates, be happy to answer those when we go into the sharing and question answer portion of what we're doing. So I'm going to get a sip of water here and get rolling with this. All right. Some cautions and concluding observations. Many people will scoff at the idea that there is an exact science of getting rich, holding the impression that the supply of wealth is limited. They will insist that social and governmental institutions must be changed before even any considerable number of people can acquire a competence. But this is not true. It is true that existing governments keep the masses in poverty, but this is because the masses do not think and act in a certain way. Okay, let me explain what we're talking about. You're going to hear a certain way, and you're going to hear formless substance or thinking substance or whatnot. Certain way means essentially this. And if you want to truly know what it means, you can go get the book and get caught up with it. But certain way means by living the laws that govern attracting money and wealth and whatever it is you want in your life. So it's living the laws that allow you to manifest what you want in your life. And it's not strictly just the law of attraction. There are actually multiple laws. The law of attraction is actually a secondary law to the law of vibration. And I think what we will probably hop into in the next study that we do is probably starting tomorrow, we're going to hop into those laws because it's very important that you understand them. So you're acting in obedience to those laws that govern how the universe works, and your subconscious mind has been reprogrammed to work with you instead of against you. Okay. I already had a big discussion last Friday on the subconscious mind. So if you want to go find that recording and watch it, highly, highly recommend it. We didn't pop into the book. We took a day to do something different and special. And the topic of that particular day was the subconscious mind. Okay. If the masses begin to move forward as suggested in this book, neither governments nor industrial systems can check them. All systems must be modified to accommodate the forward movement. If the people have the advancing mind, have the faith that they can become rich, and move forward with the fixed purpose to become rich, nothing can possibly keep them in poverty. Individuals may enter upon the certain way, so obeying the laws, at any time and under any government, and make themselves rich. And when any considerable number of individuals do so under any government, they will cause the system to be so modified as to open the way for others. The more people who get rich on the competitive plane, the worse for others. The more people who get rich on the creative plane, the better for others. The economic salvation of the masses can only be accomplished by getting a large number of people to practice the scientific method set down in this book, which is the creative method, and become rich. These will show others the way, so you're setting the example. These will show others the way and inspire them with a desire for real life, with the faith that it can be attained, and with the purpose to attain it. For the present, however, it is enough to know that neither the government under which you live nor the capitalistic or competitive system of industry can keep you from getting rich. When you enter upon the creative plane of thought, you will rise above these things and become a citizen of another kingdom. But remember that your thought must be held upon the creative plane. You are never for an instant to be betrayed into regarding the supply as limited, or into acting on the moral level of competition. Whenever you do fall into the old ways of thought, correct yourself instantly. For when you are in the competitive mind, you have lost the cooperation of the mind of the whole, essentially the help of God in the universe. Do not spend any time in planning as to how you will meet possible emergencies in the future, except as the necessary policies may affect your actions today. You are concerned with doing today's work in a perfectly successful manner and not with emergencies which may arise tomorrow. You can attend to those as they come. Do not concern yourself with questions as to how you shall surmount obstacles which may loom upon your business horizon, unless you can see plainly that your course must be altered today in order to avoid them. No matter how tremendous an obstruction may appear at a distance, you will find that if you go on in the certain way, obeying the laws and having your subconscious mind programmed correctly, which, by the way, I can promise you, if you don't have all the money and wealth that you want in your life, then it is not programmed correctly right now. It will disappear as soon as you approach it. Let me repeat this. No matter how tremendous any obstruction may appear at a distance, you'll find that if you go on in the certain way, it will disappear as you approach it, or that a way over, through, or around it will appear. No possible combination of circumstances can defeat a man or woman who is proceeding to get rich along strictly scientific lines. No man or woman who obeys the law can fail to get rich, any more than one can multiply by two and fail to get four. 2 by 2 and fail to get 4. Give no anxious thought to possible disasters, obstacles, panics, or unfavorable combinations of circumstances. It is time enough to meet such things when they present themselves before you in the immediate present, and you will find that every difficulty carries with it the wherewithal for its overcoming. Guard your speech. Never speak of yourself, your affairs, or of anything else in a discouraged or discouraging way. Never admit the possibility of failure or speak in a way that infers failure as a possibility. Never speak of times as being hard or of business conditions as being doubtful. Times may be hard and business doubtful for those who are on the competitive plane, but they can never be so for you. You can create what you want and you are above fear. When others are having hard times and poor business, you will find your greatest opportunities. Train yourself to think of and to look upon the world as something which is becoming, which is growing, and to regard seeming evil as being only that which is undeveloped. Always speak in terms of advancement. To do otherwise is to deny your faith, and to deny your faith is to lose it. Never allow yourself to feel disappointed. You may expect to have a certain thing at a certain time and not get it at that time, and this will appear to you like failure. But if you hold to your faith, you will find that the failure is only apparent. Go on in the certain way by obeying the laws. And if you do not receive that thing, you will receive something so much better that you will see that the seeming failure was really a great success. A student of the science had set his mind on making a certain business combination, which seemed to him at the time to be very desirable. And he worked for some weeks to bring it about. When the crucial time came, the thing failed in a perfectly inexplicable way. It was as if some unseen influence had been working secretly against him. He was not disappointed. This is how he reacted versus most other people. Most other people in the world get all disappointed. He was not disappointed. On the contrary, and this is what I love to do, he thanked God that his desire had been overruled and went steadily on with a grateful mind. That's why whenever I ask for something, I ask for this or something better. It helps me do this. In a few weeks, an opportunity so much better came his way that he would not have made the first deal on any account. And he saw that a mind, which knew more than he knew, had prevented him from losing the greater good by entangling himself with the lesser. That is the way every seeming failure will work for you if you keep your faith, hold to your purpose, have gratitude, and do every day all that can be done that day, doing each separate act in a successful manner, which means by obeying the laws and by connecting with God in the universe to get help. When you bake a failure, It is because you have not asked for enough. Let me repeat that. When you make a failure, it is because you have not asked for enough. Keep on, and a larger thing than you were asking will certainly come to you. Remember this. You will not fail because you lack the necessary talent to do what you wish to do. If you go on as I have directed, you will develop all the talent that is necessary to the doing of your work. It is not within the scope of this book to deal with the science of cultivating talent, but it is as certain and simple as the process of getting rich. However, do not hesitate or waver for fear that when you come to any certain place, you will fail for lack of ability. Keep right on, and when you come to that place, the ability will be furnished to you. The same source of ability which enabled the untaught Lincoln to do the greatest work in government ever accomplished by a single man is open to you. You may draw upon all the mind there is for wisdom to use in meeting the responsibilities which are laid upon you. Go on in full faith. Study this book. Make it your constant companion until you have mastered all the ideas contained in it. While you're getting firmly established in this faith, you will do well to give up most recreations and pleasure and to stay away from places where ideas conflicting with these are advanced in lectures or sermons. Do not read pessimistic or conflicting literature or get into arguments upon the matter. Do very little reading outside of the writers mentioned in the preface. Here's what you should do. Spend most of your leisure time in contemplating your vision and in cultivating gratitude and in reading this book. It contains all you need to know of the science of getting rich, and you will find all the essentials summed up in the following chapter. Okay. Summary of the science of getting rich. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. Man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, man must pass from the competitive to the creative mind. Otherwise, he cannot be in harmony with the formless intelligence, which is always creative and never competitive in spirit. Man may come into full harmony with the formless substance by entertaining a lively and sincere gratitude for the blessings it bestows upon him. Gratitude unifies the mind of man with the intelligent substance, so that man's thoughts are received by the formless. Men can remain upon the creative plane only by uniting, or man can remain upon the creative plane only by uniting himself with the formless intelligence through a deep and continuous feeling of gratitude. You're hearing a lot about gratitude, aren't you? Man must form a clear, definite mental image of the things he wishes to have, to do, or to become. And he must hold his mental image in his thoughts, while being deeply grateful to the Supreme that all his desires are granted to him. Not that they will be, that they are granted. That means in the now, not in the future. The man who wishes to get rich must spend his leisure hours in contemplating his vision and in earnest thanksgiving that the reality is being given to him. Too much stress cannot be laid on the importance of frequent contemplation of the mental image, coupled with unwavering faith and devout gratitude. This is the process by which the impression is given to the formless and the creative forces are set in motion. This is how you get God in the universe to help you out. The creative energy works through the established channels of natural growth and of the industrial and social order. All that is included in his mental image will surely be brought to the man who follows the instructions given above and whose faith does not waver. What he wants will come to him through the ways of established trade and commerce. In order to receive his own when it comes to him, man must be active, and his activity can only consist in more than filling his present place. And there was a chapter talking about that, what that means. He must keep in mind the purpose, so the intention. He's made a decision. He has the intention that's not back and forth, should I, should I, should it? No, he and or she has the actual purpose to get rich through the realization of his mental image. And he must do every day all that can be done that day, taking care to do each thing in a successful manner, meaning being connected with God in the universe and getting their help through intuition, inspiration, and revelation. He must give to every man a use value in excess of the cash value he receives. That's another chapter. So that each transaction makes for more life. And he must so hold the advancing thought that the impression of increase will be communicated to all with whom he comes in contact. The men and women who practice the foregoing instructions will certainly get rich, and the riches they receive will be in exact proportion to the definiteness of their vision, the fixity of their purpose, the steadiness of their faith, and the depth of their gratitude. Yay, some of you have been with us from day one, and we have finished that book. All right. So at this point, this is our opportunity to spend some time together to share what we want to share or to ask what we want to ask. Really quickly, what's appropriate for that? As far as sharing, you could share anything that came to you as a result of what we just read today, together, studied today, or anything we've studied in the past. The other thing that would be super cool to share is if you've had experience in your life where you decided you wanted something and you set the intention to have it manifest, and it actually did manifest for you. If you want to share those stories and tell us, how that happened for you, those are awesome. Obviously, it increases people's faith, so it's awesome to share that kind of stuff. Questions, what's appropriate? Well, anything in relationship to what we went over today so far, anything in relationship to what we've gone over since we started 3 weeks ago, and or anything in relationship to manifesting more money and wealth into your life. So please take the time to share right now or to ask questions, and don't worry about being selfish in a sense, meaning you're holding off to see what somebody else has to say or they're trying to get a turn. Let's keep this lively, and I will be here with you for a while longer to help you out. So this is your opportunity to share what you want to share or ask whatever questions you want to ask. Just come off mute and start speaking.
Hi, Kevin. I want to share the outcome of the competition, the voiceover competition on Friday.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, there were 3 competitions that I entered. I was about to only enter one, and that was the monologue one. And I'm really glad that I did all of them. The other one was a voice matching competition thing that I learned a lot from. I didn't make the finalists of that one, but I did learn a lot. And then the monologue one, I did make the finalists of that group, but I didn't win, unfortunately. However, there were a lot of people that got to hear it, like Candy Milo, who is the voice of the grandma in like Looney Tunes, and she's also in Jimmy Neutron and Dexter's Laboratory and a bunch of other things. And she said great writing, so it stood out to her. It was like her second place mention, but it wasn't second place.
Sure.
And then I made someone's third place. Her name is Nancy Lenari, and she does like audiobooks, and she's like she's in like the Incredible Spider-Man, the animated series or something like that. So I didn't win that one, unfortunately. However, it still was really good for me to just do it anyway. And then the third competition was in your recording booth, which mine isn't like really exactly what I want. So what I did was I edited a photo in like my dream recording booth. So I edited a photo of me in there as if it was like all set up, and put a frame and like throat coat tea and all this kind of stuff. And it won. So I won a free video game voiceover class, which the prizes were all like random for people. So we didn't get to choose, but that one wasn't one that I would ever think to do, but I would love to do, but I wouldn't like really put money towards it. So I'm really, really glad that I won. So thank you so much for the tips on visualization and all that kind of stuff.
You're absolutely 100% welcome. That's awesome. That kind of reminds me of, it wasn't a winning thing per se, but, there are cars that I like. And that reminds me of when my partner went out and bought the car. It wasn't something I was going to go buy because I had other things I wanted, but it was one I definitely liked. But when he went out and bought a car and then 3 months later gave it to me, and it wasn't like he bought a cheap car. He bought me a $130,000 BMW, and then he gave it to me to use, and I used it for 9 months. Again, like you said, it wasn't like the prize car for me, but it was awesome, and I got a chance to drive something that I wouldn't have been driving around, just something that I thought was cool. Now you get to go learn something that maybe that wasn't your direction, but you might find that you really enjoy it. So that's awesome. That's kind of cool that you got that random. Is that something you've ever thought about at all, or is it just kind of, oh wow, the video games?
I've considered it. My main focus right now, though, is commercial and animation, but video game, I can learn a lot from it and apply it. And then if I ever have like a video game audition, I know
Yeah,
what to do. So it felt like a this or something better moment,
yeah, yeah.
even though I wanted to win in the monologue category because I felt so strong about it, but there were so many other good ones. But I'm really glad that I won in such a way that I was like, well, let me just do it. Let me just edit a photo real quick. And it took 2 hours, and I was about to not do it, and I'm really glad that I did.
That's awesome. Very cool. All right. Anybody else have anything you'd like to share or any questions you'd like to ask? Tell you what, at least in my mind, you guys are funny. Um, I know if I had the opportunity to spend time with someone years ago that knew what I know now, before I did know it, I would ask questions because I get paid very well to answer those questions typically. Um, but that leads me to believe, I know it's not true, but I'm being facetious. That means all of you that are on here, you must be getting absolutely everything you want out of life when you want it. So then if that's the case, please share with us all the cool stuff that you've manifested so that we can learn from you how to do it. Nobody has any questions or comments?
I did have a little aha moment at the end of reading today's The Science of Getting Rich. I really liked how it said that you may not have all the talent that you need, but over time you're going to develop it and it's going to come to you as you progress. So I really liked that.
Yeah, 100%. And if you need it instantly, then somebody will join you to fill that gap, either permanently or for the time being. But you'll never be left without the help you need when you need it, when you do things the way Wallace Wattles is talking about it, and you do it in the creative way. You can know absolutely nothing about how to do what it is that you're feeling compelled to do, and all the help will be supplied to you. But yes, we have time also to develop those things. And it just depends on the situation. Sometimes it'll be over time. Sometimes we need instant help. God and the universe are there for both. They want to see our growth. However, if instant help is necessary, and I say necessary, who decides if it's necessary? They do. Okay. But if it's, because sometimes we think something's necessary and it isn't. But if God and the universe consider something necessary, they're not going to leave you without it just because you haven't developed to that point yet. They will figure out the way for you to still get what you want. So thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
I have a question. This is
Yes, Lily.
Lily.
Hi.
So when you were reading at the end, and like when you visualize something that you wanted, you explaining that you have to visualize the way that you already have it, not that you want in the future.
Correct.
Because usually, maybe that's something wrong that I'm doing. I visualize something that I want in the future. I don't visualize like in heavening.
Yeah. Then it'll always stay in the future if you do it that way.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You
Go ahead, sorry.
You treat it as if it already exists right now, in the now, whatever it is that you want. If you don't mind sharing with me, Lily, I know I talked about, lifestyle over the, since I've been on here, but what is something that you want that's important to you? Just one thing.
Like have a lifestyle that I don't have to worry about paying my bills, and also I have a lifestyle that allows me to have a quality life with my daughter. Because
what kind of life with your daughter?
A quality life.
Quality.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, because what I do right now, I have to drive an hour and a half each way. And with the pandemic, to be honest with you, that helped me because I work from home.
Yeah.
As soon as we go back to the office, and I'm going there once a week, my quality of life, I would say, it's gonna go down, because before the pandemic, I never had time to go to her games, to do stuff with her.
Okay.
And also she's 8 years old right now, so
Yes.
she's gonna be more active. I was like,
Absolutely.
well, of course I want to have a better lifestyle as well. Sure. But I also want to make sure my lifestyle allows me to see her games and also to do stuff with her.
Totally understand that. That was very much the way I was, the first type of things I wanted when I got started. My children were like yours, younger, and they were growing up really fast, like they all do, right? And I didn't have any time with them back when I had a job. But when I created the lifestyle, that was part of that lifestyle. So what I recommend that you do, Lily, and here's the cool thing, always look for the positive in what's going on. Well, what's the positive of the pandemic has been in your life? You've got to spend a lot more time with your daughter, right? So yeah. You now know exactly what that feels like. Like you've been able to participate in parts of her life that you would have missed had you been outside the pandemic. So that's actually going to be easy to feel and visualize. What you need to do is just feel and visualize that that is a permanent situation, not the pandemic, okay? But that you do have that time, like all the things you want to do with your daughter, if she's playing in sports or taking some kind of music lesson or dance, or I don't know what all she does or would want to do or you guys want to do. But picture yourself doing those things right now, and picture right now that the amount of money to cover your lifestyle is always provided to you right now. I keep saying the word right now, right? Why am I saying right now? Because you were picturing this off into the future. Picture this right now, go feel it and enjoy it in your imagination, and thank God in the universe that it's already happening, and then they'll provide the way for it to happen if you do it in the right now. But the blessing that God and the universe has given you is they've made it very clear to you what it is actually like to have time with your daughter, which is awesome, right? I don't know if you know what it's exactly like to have a lot more money, or to have your bills all paid on time, or to have, an excess of money in the bank or anything like that. But make that part of your visualization too. Not that you're picturing money in the bank, but it's like, okay, not only do I get to spend time with my daughter, but we get to go do, and whoever else you want to spend time with. Again, it's part of your lifestyle. But just picture that you always have money come in before it's even required. Picture that, your bank account always has an extra whatever amount in it. I mean, money keeps coming. It's going to come and go and flow in your life, because things you want to do this week versus next week could be different. This month versus next month's different. But picture that you always have a surplus, maybe in savings or something, of $5, $10, $15, $20,000. I mean, you can go way bigger than that, okay? But I think right now, if that's what you're starting, it's like you got a good starting point. Time with your daughter, right? And you want to live a life where you can be doing the things you want. And from a work perspective, I don't know what you do right now, but you don't necessarily have to picture what kind of work you're going to be doing unless you have something you already love. Just stay in the fact that money comes in as income, and then let God and the universe provide you the situation that gives you that time with your daughter and gives you more than enough money, and you actually enjoy what you're doing. That's kind of what I did. And I just did it on, my lifestyle was big enough. That's why my income had to jump so much, and continues to increase as I increase whatever it is that I want to do. But for now, it sounds to me like if you had, a significant amount of additional money in the bank, and you got to spend time raising your daughter and being with your daughter at this age, and you could sleep every night knowing that you had, enough to cover your bills for 3, 6, 9, 12 months, even if no money came in, that would give you a bunch of peace, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So live in that peace, live in your mind and in your heart, in your visualization, in your feeling, in your imagination, if that is your life right now.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Yeah. Another thing is like, I have a good job. I like what I do.
Uh-huh.
But now with the time that I have working from home,
Uh-huh.
I kind of want to go to another company. I want to look for something that give me more time.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I said, don't go. Okay. Yes, go search. But the most important thing, we get this backwards a little bit. And I know people don't understand this. Put the vision out first so it feels good, and then go search for the job, and you'll be guided to the right job. When you start looking for the job before you create the life that you want to live, it's going to be more stressful in how it probably comes to you. So you like what you do, awesome, then you'll probably still be doing what you like to do. You just want the situation to almost remain as it is, and you'd like to be some more money on top of it, right? You would
Yeah.
love it to be like, I get to stay home, I get to work, the hours kind of like I am, and I'm gonna get a raise on top of it that's pretty significant, so I can save some money and do some things I like to do. That's not your ultimate lifestyle, but I think right now it kind of is not your forever lifestyle, but your heart is, I want to be with my daughter. I like what I do. I just need more time, and I'd like that income to be more than it currently is. But you're not like, I can't stand the work I do, right? And I can't stand who I work for, and blah, blah, blah.
No.
No. And some people think that it has to be like, oh, I've got to be down and out, or life has got to be terrible before I'm willing to do something to improve. No, just improve it in the sense of, okay, here's what I like about what I already have. And by the way, express that to God in the universe, because when you put out good thoughts and feelings like that, you get reflected back more of the same. That doesn't mean they won't help you get a better job. I'll share a quick little story I heard. So, true story or not doesn't matter. I want you guys to get the idea about this. So there was a guy visiting a town. It was a farm town, and it's a small town, okay? But there's farmers that have fields of whatever it is that they're growing. And this gentleman comes into town. He's not been there before, but he starts walking down the road, and on both sides of this road that he's walking down, there are farms. And as he's walking down the right side of the farm, he runs into a gentleman and starts talking with him, and finds out that the gentleman's the owner of that farm. This is on the right side of the road. So he starts talking to him. He's like, so what's it like being a farmer here? How are things going, or whatever? And he goes, oh, life's terrible. I'm having trouble keeping work and help, and the crops just aren't growing the way I want them to, and I'm worn out. Basically, this person just kind of complained. Well, what this person didn't know is up in the sky above, God is listening to this person, and this person is just spewing, how unhappy they are and how much they can't stand their life. And God's listening to this, and he goes, "You ungrateful lout, if you think that's bad, let me show you bad." And things just got worse. Well, the guy's walking down the road still after he's done talking to this person. He's like, "Oh my gosh, that was awful. I don't know if I want to talk to anybody else anymore." But he walks a little further down, not very far. And on the left side of the road, he sees somebody out there, another person. And he could tell already that the person was smiling. The guy waves and goes, "Hey, stranger, how's it going?" Just being all friendly. So he walks up to this farmer and goes, "Hey, how's it going?" He goes, "Oh, life is great. I have all the help that I can need, and the crops are wonderful, and everything's growing correct." Basically, all he kept doing was talking about the positives. Now, he still dealt with some of the things that the other person dealt with, but he only focused on the positive. And God up above was listening to this and saying, "Wow, that's awesome. You have a great attitude. You think that's good? You ain't seen nothing yet."
Gotcha.
That's how this really works. That not like it's not it's God somewhat, but God's not inadvertently saying, "I like you, Lily, but I don't like you, Kevin." Okay. That's not how it's working. We are thinking about something. That thought creates a feeling, a vibration, and that's what's going out and emanating from us. So if we're putting out an icky vibration, we're going to get icky back. We're putting out a better vibration, good vibration, we're going to get good back. To manifest the things that we want, we need to not only feel good about certain things, we need to feel good about those things. And if we dislike something about our life, we need to quit complaining about it. And if we know we don't want it, then we know we want the exact opposite. If there's something about life we don't like, then don't talk about it any longer that way. Talk about what it is you do want. Like, I don't want to drive a car that breaks down every 3 months. Okay, great. I would like to drive a brand new car that is completely under warranty and totally reliable. Same thing. That doesn't mean you have it yet, but by talking that way and then making that your intention, you will end up with the one you want. You keep complaining about what you don't like, you're going to get more of it and or other things that will reflect back to you, because you're getting reflected back the essence of what your vibration is. So even today, if you don't know 100% what it is you want in life, you can still think about and thank God in the universe for that which is good in your life. Ignore that which is bad, only talk about that which is good. And that will increase your faith, because you'll be like, this world's not as bad as I thought it was. It's actually pretty good, because that's what you're looking for. If you're going into a new town and you're hungry, like you're just pulling in, you're on vacation or you're on a road trip and you're hungry, and you talk amongst yourselves in the car and you make a decision collectively, we're going to go eat Mexican food. Well, as you're driving through the town, you may not know the town, you're not putting it into GPS, but this is the main drag right through town and all the restaurants are there. Well, you'll pass by an Italian food restaurant, you'll pass by an Asian food restaurant, you'll pass by Denny's, and what'll happen is when you come to a Mexican food restaurant, because that's what you decided you wanted, you'll go there and you'll see it. You'll be unaware of the others, because that's not your focus, that's not what you want, that's not what you determine, that's not your decision. But because you collectively made as a car a decision to go eat Mexican food, all those other restaurants will be around you and you won't even recognize that they are. I mean, yes, but they won't grab your attention. But soon as a Mexican food restaurant shows up, maybe there's even a couple of them, you'll notice those. You may be like, "Oh, Taco Bell, that's not really what I meant." Okay. And so you keep driving and, okay, here's one where we can sit down and this looks good. But you wouldn't have found that Mexican food restaurant if you were looking for Italian food. Or let's say you hate Italian food, which most people don't, okay? But so if I hate Italian food, I don't want to eat Italian food, I can't stand Italian food. And you're driving around, you're going to notice, funny enough, 3 Italian food restaurants, and you
Mhm.
won't find the one you're looking for because you keep talking about what you don't want. You'll keep finding what you don't want.
Got it. I feel like we always have something to be grateful for.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And I understand what you're saying because I think I do. Like when you buy a car, usually you don't see that car often, but like when
Right.
you put in your mind, I want that car, you see that car everywhere. It's kind of the same analogy,
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
say.
Well, that's how it works. Stuff's around us all the time. The answer, the solution to most of our problems already exists. We're just unaware of it because of our focus is wrong.
Gotcha.
And we're not allowing God in the universe. They're trying to point it out to us, but we're not giving them the opportunity. We're not listening. We're not connected because we're in the wrong vibration to receive their help. So it's like we're blind to them pointing out all the things. It's like, okay, here's how to get the car you want. Here's how to get the job you want. Here's how to get the money you want. But we're not focused on that. We're focused on trying to figure things out for ourselves instead of allowing God in the universe to actually help us figure it out. They know way better the end from the beginning. So they know if you get a particular job that you think you want, that there's actually a boss there that's a jerk and you'll be miserable if you get it. You might not know that yet. You maybe only met the manager, but you didn't meet their boss, right? There's things that you don't know. Or there might be something where you're like, I'm not sure, if that's exactly, and God in the universe says, yes, just go do that. So you do it, and then you end up meeting somebody that it totally becomes your new best friend and helps you accomplish what you want. We just don't know how God in the universe will play that out. So we just have to be in the right vibration and have the right vision and have made the right decision on our vision that God in the universe can bring it to us, and we'll take the right action to receive it.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any last questions or comments for today? Okie dokie.
I'll just say thank you.
Oh,
Thank you for the last few weeks. It was really,
yeah,
I learned a lot.
We're just done with this book. So
well, no, I know, but
okay.
with the focusing on the book, yeah, it was great for me.
Awesome.
I learned a lot, and I think it was really nice practice to create for myself every day at one, of reading and just being in gratitude and coming here. So thank you. I'm really grateful.
You're very, very welcome. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. We will call it a day, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, by the
Bye,
way,
thank
tell your
you.
friends, share the link with your friends. Thank you.